What up, YouTube world? Made a video earlier. It was 19 minutes. They said it was too long, so I guess I'm not part of the elite. I can make over 15-minute videos. I got some wrestling videos in, so I might do that first and do the mail that I've got in front of me. But I'll do the videos. This was in one lot, or one from one seller. It's Coliseum Video 97. Shawn Michaels, a Heartbreak Express Tour. It's got matches with Bret the Hitman Hart, British Bulldog Vader, Mankind, and Sid. I've got this one already, but for $2 or $3 I couldn't pass that up. Then here's UFC Volume, or UFC 9, and Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock is the main event in this one. If you haven't checked out any of the old UFC footage, I would love you guys to do that, just to see where UFC's come from. Next we got 99 Spring Stampede, Sting Hogan, DDP and Flair in the main event for the title. Other matches are Bam Bam Bigelow versus Hack, which is Sandman, Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko versus Raven and Saturn, and Booker T versus Scott Steiner for the US title. Then we got Slamboree 99. That's the next pay-per-view in line there. Nash and DDP on the cover. They're for the title. And then you have Bam Bam Bigelow versus Brian Knobbs, a three-way tag team title match. Benoit and Malenko versus Raven and Saturn versus Kidman and Rey Mysterio. And Friends No More, Buff Bagwell and Scotty Steiner. Next up was a Bash at the Beach 99, which is 2 months later. Gotta get Sid and Sting on the cover there. And then we got a tag team title match with DDP, Bam Bam Bigelow, and Canyon. Yes, 3 men versus Benoit and Saturn. I want to say the triple threat. That was a triad they came up with for DDP, Bigelow, and Canyon. Rap versus country elimination match. Conan, Rey Mysterio and the No Limit Soldiers. Yes, Master P's crew versus the West Texas Rednecks. And a boxing match of Buff Bagwell versus Rowdy Roddy Piper with Judge Mills Lane, who used to be on Celebrity Deathmatch as a judge on there, or the voice of. Then Sold Out. What was it? Great American Bash, I believe, was the next one. Yeah, or no, this was the one previous to this. So that came before this. Savage and Nash on the cover there, and then you got another one of those, the Conan and Mysterio against Hennig and Duncombe. And then the tag title match, DDP and Canyon versus Saturn and Benoit. And then finally Sold Out. Nash versus Funk. Sid Vicious versus Benoit, and Benoit jumped over to WWF, I believe, that next day, or do the contract stuff, and he wasn't getting the push he wanted and whatnot. We're responding to some PMs in Tyson's room right now. But this video, I just emailed the message of seller on YouTube, or eBay, Wrestlemania 13, which is disappointing. I've got it already, but for the price I got it, I'd love to have another. SummerSlam 97, Hart and Taker. Other matches on this friend include the referee for this match was Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold versus Owen Hart, an IC title match. European title match is a Shamrock and British Bulldog. Steel cage match, Mankind against Triple H with China. Legion of Doom versus the Godwins. An 8-man tag of Disciples of Apocalypse versus Los Boricuas. And Goldust versus the late Brian Pillman. I already had that, but I got it again at a cheap price. Those two plus the next 3 are all from the same seller. Barely Legal 97, ECW's first pay-per-view. What up, P-Daz? What up, Denny, Amish brother, Den 1013? What up, Tom, Hudson Fan 15? Sick 2024, all the guys I talk wrestling with, and that's the only 4 I think I do on blog and YouTube. But this one, this will be just, I believe, a 1-part video for the wrestling, and then just for the mail, just because I want to give this its due time. Matchups here: Eliminators against the Dudleys. Total elimination is quite possibly the best finishing maneuver of all time. I love that. We always talk about that at the store, as I've got the work shirt, the white button-up shirt with the pockets. We always talk about totally eliminating customers when they ask stupid questions, so it'd be easy, the high-low, that's basically what it is. Lance Storm against Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam was pissed off, I believe, because he wasn't on the pay-per-view heading into this. Lance Storm has the rat tail in back. A young Lance Storm. Michinoku Pro, 6-man action. Taka Michinoku, who then later wrestled for the WWF. Dick Togo and Men's Taio against the great Sasuke, Gran Naniwa, and Masato Yokoshiji. I don't remember that match, but again, it'll be fun watching, catching up on this stuff. Shane Douglas versus Pitbull number 2. Sabu versus Taz. That's when Taz was just an absolute badass. Funk Sandman and Big Stevie Cool, Stevie Richards. Whoever won that match, whoever won this match, went on to fight Raven for the ECW title. And the title match was Raven against Terry Funk, so hopefully you weren't puzzled by that or surprised, because 13 years old and I don't think I need to have a spoiler alert. But then we got ECW Heatwave 98. This one features a Dudleyville Street Fight, Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman, and LSD Little Spike Dudley against the Dudley Boys, which are Bubba Ray, Devon, and Big Dick Dudley. The FTW Death Match, which, if you don't know what the FTW is, you gotta watch some wrestling. You can't just watch John Cena. You gotta watch more shit than John Cena and Randy Orton. Just saying. FTW's a fuck the world champion. Taz never thought, again, storyline, Taz never thought that he got the fair shake at the world title, so he just made his own belt up. And he's fighting Bam Bam Bigelow, which they had a great run of matches. I mean, they had some of the best ECW matches when Bam Bam came over. I mean, he was money in ECW. The ECW World Tag Team Championship, Sabu and RVD versus Hayabusa and Shinzaki. So I'd have to watch that. I don't remember that match at all. International Warfare, Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. They had one of the best rivalries of all time, I think, in ECW and in over in FMW, as Mike Awesome was a gladiator over there. But R.I.P. Mike Awesome, one of my favorites. I wish he would have got, he got buried by that 70s guy gimmick in WCW. Just foolish gimmick. I mean, that's money though. He cut a check when he came out on Nitro. It was April 2000, I want to say. What was it? It might have been the NCAA Men's Championship night. So I was flipping back and forth. I'm like, shit, Kevin Nash is in there. Something's going to happen. When Mike Awesome came out, I marked out like a fool. I was like a 10-year-old kid seeing Hulk Hogan in 1989. I mean, I was screaming and shouting, and I just wanted to punch shit. I was going nuts. So, let's see what else we got. Chris Candido against Lance Storm. And then Just Incredible versus Jerry Lynn for the ECW title. So that'll be a fun one to watch. And then this is FMW International Slaughterhouse. FMW versus ECW. You can see on the cover is Bubba Ray Dudley. There's a lot of matches. There's nothing really like mentioned from. It's not like a straight match listing, as you can see here. But Sabu, Mike, Gladiator, Awesome, Terry Funk, Sandman, the Dudleys, One Man Gang, who was one of my favorites of all time, John Kronos, Tommy Dreamer, Tajiri, Super Crazy, Bam Bam Bigelow, Mr. Gansuke, Tanaka, Hito, Ricky Fuji, Kanemura, Gedo, and Jado, along with ECW's Paul Heyman setting the table. Three-way dances are featured as Bubba Ray Dudley versus Sandman versus Terry Funk, and Kanemura versus One Man Gang versus Sabu. I've never even seen that match. That'll be interesting because I'm a huge Akeem fan. Huge One Man Gang fan overall. 6-man tags. Brutality is implied. ECW versus times FMW. War breaks out with Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, and Sandman take on Mike Awesome, Mr. Gansuke, and Kanemura in a 3-6-man tag. It's Hito and Mike Gladiator Awesome versus the Dudleys versus Funk and Dreamers. So that'll be interesting. That'll be an interesting thing to watch, because I got a few FMW tapes. So that'll be different, I'd say. And then from another seller, this was a pleasant surprise, with NWA Starrcade 87, the Chi-Town Heat. You know, one of the Road Warriors there. Hawk, Animal holding up Arn Anderson. I don't know. It looks like Nikita Koloff, but I don't know who's fighting there. Nikita Koloff there, and then Dusty against, it looks like Lex Luger down here. And this one came unopened. Just about dropped her there. Turner Home Entertainment. On the back you got Flair, Road Warriors, Great Muta, Sting, Future Shock, Starrcade 89, still sealed, which sucks. I want to watch it and I don't want to open it, but I'll open it if need be. We got Starrcade 88. True Grit, the cat's gonna die pretty quick here. It's got Luger pressing Ric Flair there. And then, one I don't think I had. I don't remember myself ever winning this. And I've got, let's see if I can turn this. Those boxes right there, that's all wrestling videos in there. And then I got DVDs over there. And then there's a big rack over there of WWF Coliseum video stuff, so. But this Hogan, Yokozuna for the title. And then on the back here, we got Bret Hart, Razor Ramon, winner faces Hennig, Mr. Hughes, the old WCW guy, Hacksaw Jim Duggan against Bam Bam Bigelow, and Tatanka versus Lex Luger. Then Shawn Michaels versus Crush, Smoking Guns, Steiners versus Money Incorporated, and the Head Shrinkers. So, glad to get all that stuff. I see what the seller says on the WrestleMania 13, but overall that's it, people. That's an unboxing. I wish I had the boxes here, but again, 19 minutes. They didn't allow me to upload it, so that's it. So take her easy, YouTube. If she's easy, put her in a headlock, and then a power bomb, and then somebody does an SSP off the top rope. Paul London style, baby. Shooting star press. Booyah!